Alright, Hannibal is back for a third helping. I can't wait to see what kind of crazy stuff happens this year. Who's going to make it to season 4? What? Are you serious? Okay, let's calm down. It's just one of the best shows on TV. I'm not pointing any fingers.
Fuck you, asshole.
Well, I guess I could take a look back at the movies that led us to this point. Do they still hold up? Let's find out by looking at the first entry in the franchise, the one that some audiences might not know about, Manhunter. Directed by Michael Mann, this movie is based on Red Dragon, the first book in Thomas Harris's crime series. So why is it called Manhunter? Apparently, producer Dino De Laurentiis thought that the name Red Dragon might cause audiences to mistake it for a kung fu flick. I'll let that speak for itself. Anyway, the story revolves around Will Graham, a criminal profiler with an uncanny ability to place himself in the mindset of serial killers. After catching the cannibalistic Hannibal Lecter, he suffered a mental breakdown that forced him into retirement. Now, Graham's old FBI boss Jack Crawford requests his help with a complicated case. A new killer, nicknamed the Tooth Fairy, has murdered 2 families and seemingly left no leads to follow. To catch him, Will must regain his old instincts and be prepared for the ramifications, both physical and emotional. Now, I hate to kill the suspense, but in my opinion, this is the best in the series. Michael Mann directs in addition to writing the script, and he knocks it out of the park in both areas. The story is suspenseful and well-paced, demonstrating the methodical nature of both committing and solving a crime without becoming bogged down or tedious. Each scene is allowed ample time to breathe, giving us an opportunity to fully digest what's going on and become more entranced in the process. As the mystery surrounding the Tooth Fairy unfolds, we get a greater understanding of how a serial killer's mind works. When the characters hit a dead end in the investigation, we really feel the sense of disappointment that goes with that. In addition, the numerous twists and turns make things even more interesting as we wonder just who will get offed next. What additionally helps is the slick direction. There's definitely an overarching style to the whole piece, as Mann enhances many of these scenes with striking color schemes and picturesque angles. Further strengthening the story is the musical score by Michel Rubini and the Reds. Some might see it as too 80s, but I found it to be a haunting and catchy soundtrack that worked well with the other stylistic elements of the film to hammer home the somber atmosphere. That's actually an appropriate way of describing the whole movie. It has a very strong sense of atmosphere, but it never becomes a case of style over substance, always maintaining focus on the story and characters. Speaking of which, said characters are beautifully brought to life by the excellent performances. William Peterson is absolutely mesmerizing as Will Graham. When you look into his eyes, you can instantly see the internalized pain and turmoil brought on by his past experiences. At the same time, he conveys a believable sharpness and determination that are consistently electrifying. However, he's most engrossing when he empathizes with the killer. You can see, written plain on his face, a gradual understanding and fascination as he slowly works out the motivations and thought process of the murderer. As he gets closer and closer, Peterson does a brilliant job of showing the emotional toll that it takes on him. Also great is Dennis Farina as Crawford. His years with the Chicago Police Department must have helped him here, as he brings a very natural experience and an authoritative charisma to the role while never losing sight of the humanity behind it. As Lecter, we have Brian Cox putting his unique stamp on the character. His cynically sarcastic approach is oddly fitting, managing to be both darkly humorous and unsettling. In a minor role is Kim Graced as Molly, Will's wife. She's likably supportive and fairly knowledgeable in her own right. She knows how these things work, having no naivety about the situation or her husband's obligation. In addition, her chemistry with Peterson allows for many subtle exchanges that get across so much with seemingly little effort. Similarly appealing is Joan Allen as Reba. No, not quite. She's actually a blind woman who unknowingly enters into a relationship with the killer. Not only is she convincing in conveying a lack of vision, but she also brings a curiosity and a charming sense of self-acceptance that make her pretty endearing. In contrast to her approachable character, Stephen Lang is clearly having a good time playing sleazy journalist Freddie Lowndes. Unfortunately, the relatively weak link in the cast is Tom Noonan as Francis Dolarhyde, aka the Tooth Fairy. Although he is physically imposing and does an effective job when it comes to the childlike uncertainty and pain of the character, he's not all that threatening when confronting his adversaries. If he'd taken it a bit farther during these scenes, then he would have been a more memorable villain. When all is said and done, Manhunter is a brilliantly crafted crime thriller that offers audiences an intimate look at the mind of a serial killer and the equally disturbed psyche of the man chasing him. Featuring outstanding performances, a sophisticated script, an atmospheric musical score, suspenseful direction, and a careful balance of style and substance, it's a phenomenal introduction to Thomas Harris's world and its characters. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, and/or comment. Until next time.